Hello, my name's Teresa Haas. This is my sample teach. I'm going to be talking about the three branches of government, and I first want to introduce my students for today.
Hi, my name is Jake.
Hi, I'm Michelle.
Hi, I'm Shayla.
Hi, I'm Melissa.
And once again, I'm teacher Teresa. Okay, so to begin, last week we talked about the United States Constitution, and this week we are going to talk about the three branches of government. Now, our founding fathers created three branches of government: the legislative, the executive, and the judicial branch. And this was so that no one branch of government was more powerful than the other. So to begin, I'm going to talk about our legislative branch. And our legislative branch is made up of Congress. Who can tell us who Congress is? Students. Yes, Shayla.
The Senate.
The Senate. And do you remember how many senators we have?
100.
That's correct. We have 2 senators from every state, and we have 50 states. Now, what is the second part of our legislative branch? We have the Senate and Jake.
The House of Representatives?
Yeah, no, this is a tricky question. Jake, do you remember how many representatives we have?
I think like around 500.
Very close. We have 435. Good job. All right, so we have Congress. What? Their job is to make laws, collect taxes, declare war, and there's one more I didn't include, and that is establish a post office. And where the legislative branch is found is Article 1 of the U.S. Constitution. So our second branch of government is the executive branch. Oops. Does anybody remember the executive branch? Who makes up the executive branch? Yes.
The president?
Yeah, the President of the United States. And who's our president currently? Yes, Trump. Yeah, President Trump. Very good. So our executive branch consists of the United States President, the Vice President, and his cabinet. And the cabinet controls federal agencies such as education, immigration, transportation. And he's also the commander-in-chief. And what job does the commander-in-chief do? Do you guys know? No? Yeah, it has to do with the military. Yeah, his job is to lead the military. And where this is found is Article 2 of the U.S. Constitution. Now, our final branch of government, and sorry that my board is sliding a little bit, is the judicial branch. And who can tell me what the judicial branch is? We have Congress, we have the president. What is our third part? Yeah, Jake.
The Supreme Court?
The Supreme Court is part of the judicial branch. Yeah, our judicial branch consists of the federal court system, and that is the circuit court, the appellate court, and then the highest court, which is the Supreme Court. So we have the federal court, the Supreme Court, and their job is to determine if laws are constitutional, as well as if the president's actions are constitutional. And I accidentally forgot something that the executive branch does, and that is his power to issue something called an executive order. And this is actually currently happening right now within the United States because President Trump is new, and this is very common for new presidents. They'll issue a lot of these, and what that is, it's a command to the federal agencies. So something that's really controversial right now is the immigration ban. And does anyone remember what currently is happening with the immigration ban? You might have seen it on the news or your parents talking about it.
The courts have blocked.
Yeah, the courts have blocked it. And that's showing you how the three branches of government have a system of checks and balances. And this is found in Article 3 of the Constitution. So the judicial branch, to summarize, determines if laws are constitutional, if the president's actions are constitutional, and actually the third one, and it's not too common, but it settles disputes between states. So if 2 states are fighting over something, it is up to the federal court system to determine the outcome. All right, so I'm going to talk very briefly about how a bill is formed, and we are going to talk about this more in depth during next class. But the legislation branch determines a bill. So we get a committee of senators and representatives coming together and creating a bill. So a bill is created in the legislative branch, and we need more than 50% of that bill to go to the executive branch, to the president, right? Now, the president can sign the bill into law, or he can veto it. And if you veto a bill, it has to go back to the legislative branch for revisions, or the legislative branch can actually get a 2/3 majority and pass this through without the president's consent. Now, let's say that we have this bill, and it goes to the executive branch, and it goes into law, and the judicial branch decides maybe this isn't constitutional. Then it will go to the Supreme Court. And how many judges are on the Supreme Court? 9. Very good, Sheila. Very good. There are 9. So it's a majority outcome, right? Right now, we actually have 8 justices. Soon, President Trump, actually, he just tapped a court judge. So soon we'll have 9, but right now there's 8, so it could deadlock, but this is very rare. But there are 9. So if a majority of a vote goes against this law is not vetoed. It can't go back to the legislative branch. It's struck down. All right, so to review, I'm going to give all of you, my wonderful students, cards. And on this board, I want you guys to work together to determine where these actions take place in which branch of government. Is it the executive branch, the legislative branch, or the judicial branch?
I have one.
Okay, go ahead. I'll work with you guys.
Make laws is legislative. What does yours say?
Executive order.
Is
Executive.
tough one.
Right. And then you have the commander-in-chief, who's at the lead of the executive branch.
Yeah, that's the president. Very good job, Jay.
Veto. Executive.
Very good job.
Declares war. Legislative.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. Yeah.
life terms, which means they're there for life. Judicial.
Mm-hmm.
Determines laws are constitutional. Judicial.
Yes.
Nice.
And then collect taxes. I believe that's part of one of the responsibilities of the legislative.
Yeah. All right. Very good job, class. So tomorrow, what we're gonna do is I'm actually gonna have you guys create laws, and we're gonna create